Okay, let me start. I'm gonna. Okay, I'm gonna start with. I'm gonna talk about the NFC East and how I think that the teams are gonna do, and this is gonna be quite different from what you're hearing from the experts. But I'm just going off a little story I read on NFL.com. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with this because this is the team that I don't want to forget what I'm gonna say. I think the Eagles are gonna finish second in the NFC East because they have Carson Wentz. Not because they have him, but just because Carson Wentz is a game manager. Okay? He's not a good quarterback, he's not a bad quarterback. Okay? But the reason why I really think they're going to finish second is because they have Alshon Jeffrey, a veteran wide receiver. And if I'm not mistaken, Torrey Smith is a veteran wide receiver too. You have two wide receivers like that? I mean, dude, those savvy veteran guys like that, just the only thing that stops a player like that is injury. You know? And if they play them and they don't get injured, if they don't play them too much to where they don't get injured, I see those guys making. When you have a veteran and you don't overwork him, man, it's like the Rockets, my team. They had Nene, right? He was very injury prone. They had to rest him like 2 days. Play him one day, rest him 2 days, or rest. He never played a back to back all season. But when he played really, really good. I mean, like, really good. Like, superstar center good. And even though he wasn't there for, you know, a lot of the games, or most of the games even, it's better to have a guy like that than a young guy who's kind of good but plays all the time. Because if you're kind of good, you're never going to win. It takes a great game to win. You can be kind of good or mediocre all season and lose every game. But you're mediocre all season. You're pretty consistent. But you never were good enough to actually win a game. So I'm saying, but even though a veteran doesn't play a lot, when they come in, at least with a veteran, let's say he misses 2 games and then plays 1 game, you know you're going to win that 1 game because he's going to be so good all at once. That's why I like streaky players, because you know, at least you know during the season that you're going to win some games. And if you can just get some consistent enough play from the other guys to maybe win some of those games, you know you're guaranteed you're going to win this amount of games. And the rest of the games are up to you to win. So that's what a veteran does. So when you have Alshon Jeffrey, and you know, especially him, and then second, quite a bit lower, but still a veteran receiver, Torrey Smith, those guys, they're going to win you games, dude. And another thing is they have LeGarrette Blount. Okay, LeGarrette Blount, dude, the only reason why he gets traded from team to team and bounces around the NFL because he doesn't have speed. But that is the one thing that messes up NFL teams. You look at Chip Kelly, right, with the Eagles. He built his team all around speed, and it was horrible. Because you can run 100 miles an hour, but when they throw you the ball, if you drop it, what does that matter? You know what I mean? I mean, if you can't get around somebody, why does it matter if you have speed? You're just going to run directly into them and they're going to tackle you. You know? And I just think LeGarrette Blount is very savvy and has a lot of power. And I think for a running back, I think moves are most important, and power. If you don't have a running back that can convert a 3rd and 2, I mean, to me, that is what running backs are for. A guy could have way less yards than another guy, but convert way more 3rd and shorts and goal line runs, and he'll be better. Let's say one running back has 1,000 yards and another running back has 1,800 yards, but the running back with 1,000 yards has 25 touchdowns, and the running back with 1,800 yards has 10. Dude, the game is all about scoring. You can't win without scoring. So I would say the running back that got 25 touchdowns would do better, and that's the kind of runner LeGarrette Blount is. He's the savvy veteran type. He can't play all the time because he might get hurt, but he's only 30, but let's just pretend that he's getting too old. But when he does play, you're going to win. And just, with those guys, I just think they're going to finish second. And I think the Cowboys are going to finish first. Okay? I know there's lots of New York Giant fans out there, and I'm not trying to be biased, but look, I know people say Dallas has trouble on defense. But when you look at our defense last year, we were middle of the pack. And I just think we have enough good players that we can maintain on defense. And I just don't think any other NFC team is going to be able to put together tons of wins. I guess there's a possibility, but I think most of them are going to be like, 8-8 at best, maybe 9-7. 9-7 could win it. Cowboys could do worse than that, but one thing that people are underestimating about the Cowboys is their quarterback. You have to look at the stats, okay? You can say he's a rookie and say that all day and say he's a 4th-round draft pick, but even if you're a rookie, if you put up better stats than Tom Brady, let's say you're a rookie, but you throw 50 touchdowns and no interceptions, you can't just continue to say that person's a rookie, that person's a rookie. What does it matter at that point? Once they put up average quarterback NFL numbers, to me, they're no longer a rookie. When you call someone a rookie, it's a pun. It's saying that their performance is novice. You see what I'm saying? So if their performance is not novice, well then I'm not going to call them a rookie. Not in that fashion. And and it doesn't matter who the running back is. Okay? They're saying the Giants, the Eagles, and the Redskins are going to do good, and they don't have the best running back in the league or some superstar running back. How is it that the Cowboys have to have a good running back to do good? And look, I'm a skeptic, dude. I didn't know if Dak Prescott was going to have a good year this year, his second year. Not because it was second year, but I just didn't know if he was going to be able to continue it and keep it up. But all through training camp and all through practice and preseason, he's been looking really sharp. When you hear things like that coming out of training camp, that he's looking really sharp, that's a good sign. That's what they used to say about Romo and stuff like that. But if he wasn't looking sharp, they would say he was looking bad. So anyways, when you got a quarterback like that, and you got that many wide receivers, and you got that offensive line, I don't see us losing that many games. Even if teams score a lot of points on us, I just think we're going to score a touchdown or a couple points more than them, because of our quarterback, okay? Forget rookie. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, judging by the stats of last year, okay? I think he broke Tom Brady's record for most pass attempts without an interception last year. I think he only got 2 interceptions all last year. Most he got was 4. But I'm pretty sure And people don't realize this. He played all 16 games. Romo was injured in the preseason, like the third game of the preseason, and he played all 16 games and only threw 2 interceptions. And you can say they run it a lot, they don't throw it a lot. You can say that for a couple of games. But when you're talking about all year, you are going to throw a lot of passes in the course of a year. And if your team goes 13-3, there's no way you can go 13-3 and not throw a ton of passes. Cowboys threw it a lot last year. And I think it's kind of hypocritical to say that the Cowboys have to have a great running back to win games. So anyways, though, I have them finishing first, okay? And then I have the Giants and the Redskins fighting it out for third place. Because I just don't believe in some of the Redskins players. I think the Redskins have a better quarterback than the Giants. I mean, I'm talking about on average on a yearly basis. I'm not talking about one outstanding year like Eli had one year. Or really, to me, he only had like one good year. But the other years, he just did good in the playoffs. But if you don't do good enough in the regular season, you're not going to make the playoffs. So why does it matter how good you play in the playoffs? I mean, I know Eli Manning is a good quarterback. But when you look at the stats, Kirk Cousins had better stats than him last year. I don't know why people ignore Kirk Cousins' stats. A stat sheet stuffer? What does that mean? If you get 100 yards, that means that ball moved forward 100 yards that game. And he was getting like 350 yards passing a game. Look at his touchdown to interception. Kirk Cousins was slinging it all over the place. But the reason why I think the Redskins are going to finish in third or fourth place is because that's all they got. You know what I'm saying? And the Cowboys had a team like that year after year. I'm a Cowboys fan. I've always watched them even when they're 5-12, and some of those years where they're 8-8 and stuff like that, and maybe I think they went 5-12 with Romo. That's all they had was a quarterback. And I just think that's the type of team that the Redskins have, And the Giants, I don't know. I don't see the Giants with the same talent as the Eagles. I don't see them with Alshon Jeffrey, Torrey Smith, LeGarrette Blount. And you say that's just 3 players. Those are key players, dude. Wide receivers and running backs. I mean, you may not believe this, but some positions in football are more important than other positions. Like way more important. Like, I believe that. That's how the Cowboys had such a great year. It's because of what position they picked up in the draft. We could have got defensive linemen. We could have got any other position. We already had a quarterback. That would have been better, but the only thing better than a running back is a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So when you have a running back that's touching the ball all the time, that's the most important position, pretty much. You see what I'm saying? So, so I don't see the Giants having those types of guys in those important positions, I mean, I don't see them having running back. I think they made foolish decisions at running back. I think they should have kept Brandon Jacobs, I mean, he's too old to play now, but I still see them making, I mean, I don't know, maybe they change offensive coordinators, but from what I read, I don't know, so, and I just think people get hyped up about the Giants because of what they've done in the past, but I don't think that means anything. What matters this year is how your team is this year. You could have won a Super Bowl in 2014, won another one in 2011, but if you don't have the same players, you don't have the same coaches, you're not the same team. If Tom Coughlin is the reason why you're winning and you take Tom Coughlin away, you can't sit there and talk about how good Tom Coughlin did and say that means anything about this team this year. And so, and one of the main reasons why, I just remembered, people are saying, the Giants might do really good if Eli Manning has a year like he had when he had a great year. And I don't see Eli Manning having a year like that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see it happening. Because last year he wasn't that good. And I think you move up. I think you're kind of good, then you get good, then you get really good, then you get great. I don't think you jump from mediocre to great or average to great. Or good to great. You got to go good to really good, then to great. And I think that Kirk Cousins did great last year. See what I'm saying? So the lowest, and I think you fall in an order too. So the lowest he can fall would be really good, And Eli Manning at the most was good last year, not really good. So he'll only go up one level to really good even if he is good, And so, but that's my surprise pick is the Eagles. So I'm really undecided about the Redskins and Giants, but I mean, I don't know, So anyways, though, so if I had to take a pick, I guess I would say, I just really don't want to make a pick on that. But you could say the Giants are going to do better than the Redskins, but you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go say the Redskins are going to be better than the Giants. But I predict the Redskins only be like 8-8. So that's a 50-50. Maybe I should pick the Giants. They probably have a better overall team. Kirk Cousins is just a quarterback. But I'm going to do it based purely on the quarterback position, And this is totally flipping everything backwards except for really the Cowboys. Because people are picking it to be the Giants, the Cowboys, the Eagles, and then the Redskins, So I might be totally wrong, but I think Kirk Cousins is young. Eli Manning's in his 14th year. He might get injured, If Eli Manning gets injured and some quarterback comes in that is total trash, I just think that's a very likely scenario for the Giants since Eli Manning is entering his 14th year. So I'm going to pick the Redskins over the Giants. And last year, the NFC East had more wins than any other division in football. So, I think the Raiders division had one less win than them. And there are divisions where you got one really good team and then the rest are crap. But usually, or like it was last year, last year the NFC East I thought they were really good. You had a lot of teams on the bubble, and I thought they were beating up on themselves. And it's not, Cowboys won most of the games, but it's not whether you win the games. If you're playing a really good team that's like 8-8, instead of, if you add all the games up, you're playing tougher opponents, I think that wears on your team more. You get more players injured when you're playing better teams. That's something people don't realize, You may beat a team, but if they fought you hard, they're going to take a lot out of you. And they're going to injure a lot of your players. So, the one thing that could hinder the Cowboys is they have a really rocky schedule. I think some of the teams that were really good last year on our schedule, like at least one isn't going to be as good as they were last year, So, anyways, though, I know this is a long video, but I rarely do sports videos. So, that's it. That's my pick. Cowboys, Eagles, Redskins, Giants. There you go.